If it's making news in Hamilton, Halton, and Niagara, across Canada or around the world, you're going to find it on the CHCH Newsmakers podcast. Hello once again, I'm Rick Samprin, your host. The holiday season, also known as the season of giving, is here. But the need in our community, especially when it comes to food, is an issue for many people all year round. Our guest today is Haley Rain Paxton, the Senior Manager of Fundraising and Development at Hamilton Food Share. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me.
Let's talk about 2025 at Hamilton Food Share. How would you describe this year?
This year has been an incredibly tough year, just with the increase in costs of everything and the cost of living. We're seeing more people than ever turning to food banks for the very, very first time.
What's it like working there? Is it depressing? Is it encouraging at times? Is it a roller coaster?
I think, I have a couple different feelings when I think about working with Hamilton Food Share. Mostly it feels, I feel really empowered to be helping so many people through my specific job and bringing food to, the 22 different programs that we support across Hamilton. So, but with that also is the growing need is very, very challenging at times as well, especially when you get to meet clients and hear their stories, see families with, parents that are both working and still just can't seem to make it work by the end of the month. So, but those things really just kind of propel me to move forward and continue to help the community.
The public sees the numbers in terms of how many people are accessing, Hamilton Food Share or food banks really across the country. They don't see the people. You see the people every day. What is that like?
I think there's still quite a stigma around people who are using food banks or hot meal programs, and some of those stereotypes are just simply untrue. And the data that's coming out shows that a lot of people are working families, and with more people than ever kind of struggling with homelessness, in all different communities, you can really see the different types of people. It's not just one kind of stereotype of folks that you see maybe like on the street, but an array of different people from all different backgrounds as well.
We've had political uncertainty in our lives, certainly this year, economic uncertainty with that. Has that kind of added to what we're already seeing in this community?
Definitely. I think it's added the pressure. It's really just increased that kind of pressure environment in Hamilton and spotlighted a lot of those recurring issues that we're seeing. And also, it's like, you mentioned the data that's coming out. I think something that's really interesting that I just kind of realized is for most people, in terms of thinking about how many people in Hamilton are accessing food banks every day, TD Coliseum that just opened it holds about 19,000 people, and it's actually at least 19,000 people every day that are accessing food banks across Hamilton. So that's, when you put it into perspective, that's quite a large group of people that are struggling.
So a TD Coliseum contingent of individuals will access Hamilton Food Share each and every day. Yeah,
so wow. Hamilton Food Share is the shipping and receiving hub that serves 16 different food banks, and it's 22 food banks and programs, because some of the food banks have one or two more locations. And so our job really is to raise food and raise funds that we can then turn into real physical, tangible difference through moving food to these food banks and feeding that Coliseum amount of people who are seeking help every day.
Take us inside the walls of Hamilton Food Share on an ordinary day. What would it look like?
The walls of Hamilton Food Share, we actually don't see a ton of like people, because we serve our member agencies which are the food banks that we work with. But in terms of busyness and kind of the work that we're doing, we have quite a small team, but we work super closely together. And our warehouse team, especially this time of year, food is piled up all the way to the ceiling at times. We're just trying so hard to jigsaw our way around to fit as much food as we possibly can, and we have food going out every single day as well. So. Yeah.
2025, how would you compare it to 2024? Is it massively busier this year compared to last year?
From last year, it's about a 50% increase.
Wow.
Between 40 and 50%, depending on the community specifically. Overall, about 40% increase in demand from the previous year. So. Quite a jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this time of the year, do you receive many more donations? Because the need is year round.
Exactly.
But during the holiday season, are you seeing that spike?
I would say the holiday season is definitely when we see more of a spike. But given some of the pressures of this year, it's been a bit of a challenge for us, and it's been a little bit slower in terms of that. Mm-hmm. And it's just, with the cost of living increase, people just don't have as much extra in their pantry. So that's why we get monetary donations, which actually are great because when we receive monetary donations, of course, we also love food donations as well. Mm-hmm. When it comes to receiving monetary donations, we can maximize for every $1, we can actually provide $5 worth of food. So if you were to take $5 to the grocery store, you would get $5 worth of food, which, maybe some canned goods, maybe not even a bag of milk potentially, depending on what kind of milk you're buying. Yeah. Whereas with $5, we could provide $25 worth of food because we work with partners, we work with different farms and receive things at a discounted bulk rate because we're feeding so many more people than just individual agencies. Yeah. So
in this community, Hamilton, over the last, let's say, 20 years, has become much more culturally diverse as well.
Definitely.
When it comes to culturally appropriate food, how is the demand there?
So culturally appropriate food is something that has increased a lot in demand. And really what we're seeing is we've been putting out surveys to our member agencies who actively actually talk to their clients and kind of ask them, what are the things that you need? And they're kind of going to their individual communities and they're coming back to us with what the needs are, which is something that we try really, really hard to get as much as we can. When it comes to culturally appropriate food, we're talking about, food that is kosher or halal, and that could be proteins, that could be meats, breads, different things, snacks. And really the importance of that is, I think there's a notion that a lot of people think, people are hungry enough, they'll eat anything. But that is where I don't know that I don't agree with that because, different people, different communities eat different types of food, and you don't ever want parents to have to choose between feeding their families and also then taking on the moral burden of dishonoring their culture or their religion. So we really are trying our hardest. That's something that we're focused on right now, is getting as much culturally appropriate food as we can.
Mm-hmm. Now, does that put an extra strain on what you do, or are you just kind of reshifting how you do it?
I would say we're kind of shifting a little bit more. That being said, it's not like there's extra funding or anything we can. So really, it's maximizing the donations we get, and we're very, very fortunate that we mostly run on donations that folks give us every year.
The most recent hunger report shows a clear picture of the need in this community.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us on how deep that need is and how that's grown over the years?
Yes, especially in Ontario, over 1 million people are accessing food banks, and I know at least in our community, about 900 people are reaching out a day to get information, to ask how they can sign up or take part in a food bank in the future. So we're seeing a lot more of that, people kind of almost like figuring out how they can what the worst case scenario would be for them, and they're reaching out every day.
Yeah.
So
the report also shows that hunger is not a downtown Hamilton issue.
No,
right?
it's not.
It's across the city. And I think people are surprised to see or hear that.
Yeah, especially, so Hamilton Food Share, we serve Flamborough Food Bank as well, and basically from kind of the Burlington border all the way, we actually have a couple different locations that we serve kind of down in Niagara, so we see a bit of shift in demographics, but we support the Flamborough Food Bank, is one of the food banks that's close by here that we work with a lot, and they've seen a huge shift in that, especially the population and different people they serve as well.
A lot more children are accessing food, but at least families that have
Yes.
young kids. That has to be quite disheveling at times to see that.
Yeah, it's actually about 34% of food bank usage is children or for children. So it's quite an upsetting thing to think about, and it can be really challenging at times to, especially when we've had a chance, especially me, I've had a chance to see some of these families that are coming to the food banks, and I'm happy that they're able to get what they need, but at the end of the day, it's really sad to see so many families that are in that position.
It's really a double-edged sword. Like, you're helping these people, but you're in the same sense, you really feel sad about the whole situation.
I do, yeah. Lots of emotions.
That's got to be tough.
It is, but like I said, it just makes me realize how fortunate I am and how much I care about the community and want to keep fighting hunger specifically.
Yeah. Do you think food insecurity is fixable? Is this a fixable problem? And I know it's going to take a lot to do that.
I mean, it definitely is a fixable problem. It requires a lot of a shift in mentality, a shift in government funding. There's lots of different ways that things can happen, but I think I speak for most nonprofits when I say, nonprofits, a lot of the time, the reason that they exist is to step in where there is a gap to be filled.
Right.
And so where we're seeing the biggest gap to be filled outside of, homelessness and the rising, there's just so many specific things that kind of got wrapped in, and unfortunately, food insecurity can be a cause of this, but it also can be a repercussion. But we're seeing with the rise of food insecurity and the rise of demand for food banks, and the amount of food that we're putting out, is around 5 million pounds a year. So we're definitely, it's a challenge.
We've seen the need grow. Have we seen the community step up to the plate to support Hamilton Food Share and the food banks in the city?
Definitely. We've, especially the farms that we work with, who are giving us fresh produce. That, I think, is the biggest thing. So that we can put that out every day, and families are coming and they can have fresh produce to cook within their kitchen. They're not just limited to macaroni, kind of canned goods, right, which is great, and it's definitely can be a source of sustainable protein. But, ultimately we want to get as much fresh or frozen food as possible. So that's kind of what we're really focused on there.
What about the corporate support in this community?
Yeah, the corporate support's so strong. Yeah, we have a lot of corporate partnerships. Like I said, we run on mostly donations, so we do rely on the corporate partners and in the community. So it's really great.
One of those being, and this is kind of near and dear to my heart, the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the Peer Leader Tackle Hunger Program.
Yes.
And a record-setting year of over 230,000 pounds, I think it was.
It was, I think, 253.
253.
Actually.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
I shortchanged them.
That's okay. It was an incredible year. It was the most we've I believe we've ever raised in history, and also my first time doing Pure Later Tackle Hunger. So okay. it was a big team effort. We worked super closely, and we had such a good time.
Yeah.
We had a great time. We did lots of grocery store visits and with some of the players, and yeah, we just really got the community involved, and it's just really nice. They all showed up to the game as well. Like that game was just absolutely packed, sold out.
Right.
It was surreal to be there and also to see so much food come out of that. So many people being fed too.
That game being the Labor Day Classic, which is the biggest game of the year, apart from the Grey Cup. And I know a lot of the Ticats players come out and help transport the food. They get really involved. That must be a huge morale boost for the team at Hamilton Food Share.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting. It's exciting for all the staff, and also just, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are such a representative of the community of Hamilton, and we really rally behind them, but they also rally behind us as a community too. And I'm specifically Simone Lawrence and Kenny Lawler, those two players were super involved in Hamilton Food Share's involvement with Pure Later Tackle Hunger, and even just this week we had a couple food drives come and kind of drop food off. Right. And so just having the involvement and the community support is really important.
Mm-hmm. Hamilton Food Share does a great job of thinking outside the box as well. Pure Later Tackle Hunger is one of those. A partnership with Theatre Aquarius.
Yeah.
With Frozen, the Broadway musical, and a portion of the funding going there. These kind of ideas must be really, when you're sitting around the boardroom thinking, how can we get more dollars or more donations in? This is another great example of partnering with Theatre Aquarius.
Yes, it is. And we do a lot of partnerships. I think that's something that we've kind of pivoted to with we love our community. We also don't want to exhaust them in terms of food drives and constant donations and things like that. And so with these types of partnerships, it can be so helpful for us because, like I said, we are a very small team. And we all are boots on the ground every day. So we can only be in so many places at once. So having partnerships like with Theatre Aquarius with our 50-50 draw is quite exciting. And also, like, the 50% that goes to whoever wins is life-changing amount of money. Absolutely. And so for us too, like, it could be anybody, and I think that's what the exciting part is. And then, in turn, it also goes back to Theatre Aquarius and Hamilton Food Share equally. So.
Another cool partnership, CPKC Holiday Train.
Love the Holiday Train.
And entertain the masses, and it was a great donation experience.
Yep, it was, again, one of the best, I think, years we've ever had with that as well. We had so many volunteers. I will say we had three really great groups of volunteers this year from First Ontario, Arcelor, Middle and Dofasco, and I'm forgetting the other group.
Many more.
And many more. Oh, Stony Creek Rotary.
Okay.
Yes.
If you did not have volunteers, and we can say this as many organizations in Hamilton, Halton, Niagara, really across this country, volunteers really stir the drink in terms of fundraising, community activations.
Absolutely.
Like, so important.
Yeah, the volunteers, we have consistent volunteers who come in every week to help sort food and pack food and get it moving. We also have a lot of community groups that come in frequently. Actually, OnBridge is one of our. They have multiple groups within their kind of organization that we have come and do quite a lot of volunteering and sorting. And like I said, we have over 100 at least volunteers that we work with for each of these events. And then for the Smile Cookie, which we did in this past May and April, we had approximately 220 volunteers just for that 1 week of shifts to help make Smile Cookies.
And now I'm hungry. I have a craving.
I know. I want a cookie now.
Yes, you recently held your holiday open house as well. How did that go?
Yeah, it was good. We had quite a lot of of different, familiar faces come through. Some of our member agencies, like I was saying, some of our donors who maybe haven't been in touch with us in a while, and who wanted to come and sort. It was just kind of a doors open and allowing the public to come in and see what we do. I think that's something that we would like to do a little bit more often, because people don't usually get to see the work that we do specifically in our building.
I was checking out your Instagram page, and you have a holiday registry as well. What is
We
that?
do.
What was that?
So the holiday registry is something that goes out to the public. It also goes out, I believe it's going to be on CBC's webpage for Hamilton. And really what that is, it's a registry for different programs and either hot meals or celebrations or holiday gatherings that are happening within our member agencies. So different food banks, whether they're hosting, a Christmas Eve dinner or something, or a drop-in day, some form of, any sort of program that they have that's holiday specific. Okay. And that also includes their hours, which change throughout the holidays so that people, especially people who are looking to access food banks, can know what those are, and they don't have to go, looking here, there, and everywhere for them.
A one-stop shop.
One place, exactly. So we have that on our website, and it's also it's posted on a couple different, I think, media outlets too as well.
What's the biggest challenge ahead for Hamilton Food Share?
I would say the biggest challenge ahead for Hamilton Food Share right now is, with the growing demand comes the need for some more space and things like that. That's something that that we're always struggling with, is how do we kind of fit everything into the warehouse. Now that the demand is going up, the amount of food that's coming in is also going up too. And also, we're facing a bit of a unique challenge in that, some of our donors are now having to access food banks. And so how can we support those people who are making that adjustment, right? And for a lot of people, that seems, impossible. It's not. We're actually seeing it more frequently than we'd like to admit, completely, honestly. So we really just want to support our community.
That's pretty scary.
It is.
One day you're donating, and the next day you're like, I need that.
Exactly. And a lot of those people who find themselves in their position are seniors who are on a fixed income, and, maybe they had expendable income before, but now due to the rising costs, they're not able to. We want to try our best to support them. But some days we are also at max capacity in here. So I think the challenges that lie ahead are also opportunities for us to grow. And we're thinking very creatively about how we can continue to work with our community to basically fight the hunger.
Is that need for growth? Could we see physical growth in terms of the footprint of Hamilton Food Share?
Definitely. Yeah. Yes, we're looking at moving into a larger building potentially. Okay. That's something that's that we're looking at, that's in the future, but we at some point will need to expand if as the demand grows. It's also it's an unfortunate problem to have too, because we'd like to stay, and because obviously the growth and the amount of food means the demand is higher, and so we're really trying to reduce that. But we need support. We need the government's help. We need other forms of help, because our community is stepping up and doing the most they can for us, especially donors.
The timeline for the physical growth, is that 2 to 5 years? A little beyond that?
Probably in that range.
Yeah. Okay. What's the outlook to 2026?
The outlook for 2026. Well, I will tell you right now the amount of food that we are putting out from last year. So our report that came out this previous summer from 24-25, we approximately distributed 4.7 million pounds of food. So we're looking at 2025. Our report isn't going to come out until the spring of this year, but we're going to be well over 5. Wow. So
and that would be an all-time record.
Yeah, I would say almost 1 million more in food poundage in this year. than previous,
Yeah.
which is a huge jump for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's something we've never seen
And
before.
what would a normal jump from year to year look like?
I would say about 5%,
Wow.
between 5 and 10%. Yeah.
And it's much more than that. That really
Yes.
is a glimpse of the need in the community.
It is. It is. It's exactly. Like I said before, we send surveys out and we accumulate all the data and we also we track all the food bank usage through a program called Link to Feed, which is through Food Banks Canada, and so all of our member agencies are tracking who is coming in every day and the types of food they're getting, and so we kind of take that data, we compile it, and then we see where we need to fill the gaps and work with each member agency appropriately for their size.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that change year in and year out? Does it stay roughly the same in terms of that prototypical person or family that is in need?
I think it's definitely something that the frequency that we're seeing families that maybe came before, maybe they're coming more than they used to before. Okay. What we would like to see is those families get the support they need and then leave the food bank system and kind of be able to flourish, get back on their feet.
Right.
So we're kind of seeing the opposite effect right now. And so we'd really like to work together to find more ways to do that. I know Hamilton Food Share's CEO, Rathika Subramanian. She is working with some of our member agencies to create the Greater Hamilton Food Collective to kind of think of some of these different ideas and really pilot some ideas about how we can support the community and ultimately try and fight the hunger kind of epidemic that we're seeing in Hamilton specifically. Do
you have a sense of when some sort of announcement could be made in terms of a new or tweaked game plan?
Definitely in 2026.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll end on that cliffhanger. Haley Rain, thanks for the time today.
Yes, thank you.
And from everyone in the community, thanks for doing what you do. It's not an easy job, but certainly filling the need literally for many people in our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
That is a wrap for the Newsmakers podcast. A big thank you to the all-star cast behind the scenes. If you like today's episode, click the thumbs up, hit subscribe, leave a comment as well. You can catch the Newsmakers podcast on chch.com/podcast and wherever you get your favorite podcasts.